Om Dakshinasya Samarambha Shankaracharya Madhyama Asmadacharya Paryanta Smarya Guru Parampara Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaran Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Parigyanashrama Shri Guru Shankara Parigyanashrama Shankara Sadguru Keshava Vamana Krishna Panduranga Ananda Parignana Guru Satyo Jata Shankara Sadguru Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are almost coming to the end of the Narada Bhakti Sutra, a beautiful Vedantic text which we have studied over the last 3 months. And in the last section, Bhagwan Narada Maharishi is talking about what one should do for deepening this devotion or connection with Ishvara, and what are the things that help in maturing this bhakti. In the 76th verse, we saw that Bhakti Shastrani Mananiyani. Bhakti Shastrani means all the bhakti literature, the literature of all the saints who have talked about the glories of the Lord. Mananiyani. It includes even the Shruti and Smriti also. The Upanishads also talk about Ishvara. Smriti Granthas also talk about Ishvara. So Mananiyani tad udbodhaka karmani karaniyani. Whatever sadhanas are talked about in these Shastras have to be followed. They are only meant to mature or deepen a bhakta's connection with the Lord. We saw that in the last session. Now we'll go to the 77th verse, which says, Sukha Dukkha Ichha Labhadityake Kale Pratikshamane Kshanardhamapi Vyartham Naneyam. Kshanardhamapi Vyartham na neyam. Don't waste even a moment waiting for the right time. Many times, when we want to get into this sacred text, many times I've heard people saying, I don't have time. I will do it after I retire. I'm going through a set of problems now. When this set of problems is sorted out, then I will start listening to the Bhagavad Gita. I'll start attending the Vedanta classes. No, it doesn't happen. So he says, Sukha, Dukkha, Ichha, Labha, Adi, Ityake, Kale, Pratikshamane. Okay? Waiting for a proper time where I don't have Sukha, I don't have Dukkha, I don't have any Ichhas, I don't have any kind of waiting for a Labha. Okay? Where I'm so busy. I'm running so many posts at one time. I'm this here, I'm this here, I'm that here, I'm the director here, I'm this here. I don't have time for any of these things. But then, never will a time come for these things. So what he's saying is, if there is even a flicker of Ichha, a flicker of desire that I should connect with Ishvara, it should be done. One should not wait for an ideal time. Ideal time never comes in one's life. Ideal time is the time when you have got that tivra ichha, that I have to go into this. I have to connect myself to Ishvara more. I have to bring Ishvara more into my life. I have to study the Shastra. I have to take the help of a guru. When this kind of a thought comes, a serious thought, it should not be ignored. It should not be delayed, because we never know when the next opportunity will come, whether the guru will be available for me or not, whether the shastras will be available for me or not. I have no idea. Therefore, sukha, dukkha, ichcha, labhaditya ke kale pratikshamane. Waiting for a proper time when all these things are not troubling me. Is it possible? Is it possible any time in our lives not to be troubled by dukkha, okay, problems, a kind of an unsteadiness of the mind? Is it possible? Is it possible any time in our lives to have the right time, conducive time, and the ambience sufficient enough to sit and connect myself to Ishvara? Do dhyanam or study the texts like Bhagavatam, it may be Puranas, it may be Shruti, Smriti, any grantha, which helps me connect with Ishvara. Is it possible for me to do that? No. So Narada says, every moment of sadhana is important. Don't waste kshanardham api vyartham na neyam. Kshanardham, even half a moment, he says. Kshana means a moment. Don't waste a moment, even a moment, in trying to postpone this for the right time, because there is no such thing as a right time. Then in the 78th verse, Bhagwan Narada talks about what are the values that one has to inculcate in maturing one's mind. A mature mind has a better connection with Ishvara. A mature mind is able to connect more deeply. The bhakti of a mature mind is a more mature bhakti in the form of a jignasu bhakti. Of course, a jnani bhakti we are not talking at all. The more and more values I inculcate, the more and more disciplined my life becomes, connecting with Ishvara becomes easier. The bond becomes stronger. I no longer use Ishvara only as an Artha Bhakta or Artharthi Bhakta. I connect to Ishvara as a Jignasu or a Jnani Bhakta. And therefore he says, the values, he has taken the same values, as he's discussing these values which are discussed by Lord Krishna in Amanitvadi values. He calls them Jnanam, isn't it? In the 13th chapter, Amanitvam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa, Kshanti, Arjavam, Acharyopasanam, Shaucham. All these are what? These are all values which are sadhanas for Jnanam. And therefore he gives the name Jnanam only. When Arjuna asks what is Jnanam and what is Neyam, Lord Krishna says this is all Jnanam, because these are all conducive for this intellect to mature, and in a mature intellect, full of values, full of dharma, connection with Ishvara as a Jignasu Bhakta deepens. And my journey from a Jignasu Bhakta to a Jnani Bhakta becomes much easier and simpler. I don't get distracted very easily. What are those values? We have already studied them. Several times we have talked about them. And here he says, Ahimsa, Satya, Shaucha, Daya, Astikyadi Charitriani, Paripalaniyani. Paripalaniyani. One has to seriously practice. What are they? These are the values. He is mentioning only a few of them, whereas Lord Krishna mentions 21 of them. And here he talks about ahimsa, satya, shaucha, daya, astikya buddhi. 5 of them. And he says adi. Adi means there are many others which come in these values. Some of the yama niyamas are talked about here. 5 yamas and 5 niyamas, which we know, this is not a context to talk about that, but he takes some of them here. And also he talks about other values also, which Bhagavan Krishna talks about in the 13th chapter. So what are these? Ahimsa. What is ahimsa? It is a determination on my part that I'm not going to hurt another living being. Killing another human being for my pleasure. No. Harming another, not human being, sorry, living being. Killing another living being for my pleasure. Harming another living being for my pleasure. Either by actions, bodily actions, or by the thought, or by speech. I will not harm. So this is what is called as ahimsa. And it has to be followed as a policy. Otherwise it won't work. It won't work. Most important of ahimsa is vegetarianism. Don't think that I'm trying to promote it, but yes, that is true. The biggest of the animals, if you take, they are vegetarian. An elephant is a vegetarian. Does it not exist with so much of Shakti, so much of Bala? A cow is a vegetarian. Many of the animals are vegetarians. Yes, there are predators who hunt and eat animals. That is how they are programmed. But as a human being, I have a choice. Do I have to hurt another living being in the name of fulfilling myself? So, ahimsa is a policy I adopt where I have decided not to hurt another living being, either physically or verbally or even thought-wise, emotionally. Then satyam. Satyam means trying my best to speak the truth. Truthfulness. Very important, truthfulness. Sometimes it may not be possible. When we see the Vak tapas in the 17th chapter, Bhagavan Krishna talks about Vak tapas, what kind of a speech one should have. It may not be possible for us to always follow that. But as far as possible, let us not try to speak untruth. Let us avoid anritam. Let us stick to the truth. And if a situation comes where I cannot speak the truth, let me keep quiet. If any situation comes where if I speak the truth, it will be hurtful to somebody else, it will be a himsa to somebody else, let me keep quiet. So satyam, being truthful, is second value. Then shaucham, bahya shaucham and antara shaucham. Bahya shaucham means keeping my body clean. Antara shaucham means all the values that make me a more mature person. All my raga, dveshas, and all the negative emotions in me, anger, lobha, moha, krodha, raga, dvesha, what we call as the shad vargas, aris. There are the paripanthi no. They are raga, dveshas, lobha and raga are considered to be robbers, like highway robbers who can rob us of our intellect. In Bhagavad Gita in 16th chapter, we see these are the doorway to hell. They talk about this. And not only that, in the second chapter also, what happens when uncontrolled desire leading to uncontrolled anger and complete destruction of the discriminating capacity of the intellect. Bhagavad Gita talks about it. So it is shaucha, bahya shaucha, as well as antara shaucha. Chitta Shuddhi, by Karma Yoga, which comes Chitta Shuddhi. Astikya Buddhi. Astikya Buddhi means what? Trust in the Shastras, trust in the Guru, that whatever is being talked about by the Shastras and the Guru is the correct thing. It is meant to guide me. It is not meant to distract me or take me away from my, whatever you call it as achievements or what. No. Veda is not interested in keeping us poor. Veda does not say that don't acquire things, it doesn't say, don't desire, it doesn't say. Let your desires, let your acquisitions be in such a way that they are not only meant for your satisfaction, let them be useful to others also. There's nothing wrong in desiring. Let the desires be sattvic. Let the desires be non-binding. That's what it says. So, astikya buddhi, that I am never going to be a loser. I am never going to lose anything by following the Shastra and the Guru, because the Shastra and the Guru are definitely talking about my good. Therefore, this astikya buddhi, that it is trust in the Shastras and the words of the Guru, we call it as astikya buddhi. So, these are absolutely important. Adi, he says many others. Out of those 21, if we take, yes, there are all these. And then he says daya, okay? He says daya, shaucha, daya, compassion. Compassion towards other beings. Compassion can be there when there is ahimsa. If I'm all the time causing himsa to the other beings, how can there be any kind of a compassion in my heart? So, compassion or daya, it is very, very important. And another Bhakti Sutra, compiler, Shandilya, I said Shandilya Bhakti Sutras, he says, Sarva Bhuteshu Sarvatra Anugraha Buddhi, or Anugraha Bhavaha, Anugraha Bhavana, Sarva Bhuteshu Sarvatra Anugraha. I'm happy, I bless every living being. I have no hatred against any being. I respect, I love, and I bless whatever is. Let everything good happen to everybody. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha. And when there is somebody in need of me, when I am there at a place where my need is there, I show compassion and try to help as much as possible. So this is called as daya. So compassion. Most important, I think, value for a bhakta is compassion. Compassion towards oneself, compassion to others also. Compassion cannot be only towards others. Sometimes we are very, very harsh upon ourselves, because we would have done some acts of commission and omission sometimes back, anytime. But one has to have compassion towards oneself also. Then only I can have compassion for the other jivas also. So, astikya, astikyadi, daya, shaucha, ahimsa, satya, astikyadi charitriani. Okay, that is charitriani means that has to be this character. These are the virtues or the values which deepen or which mature a person's character, which is very, very important for a bhakta to be to go deeper into his bhakti. Connect more. Deeper means what? Day by day, more and more, as my sadhana improves, I get a deeper and deeper connection with Ishvara. And ultimately, as a parabhakta, I am not different. I am absolutely no bheda between me and Ishvara. And during my sadhana, whatever bheda I'm feeling now starts narrowing, lessening. And by the time I am a parabhakta, I have total abheda. Aham Ishvara eva saha Ishvara, aham eva asmi. Aham Brahma asmi. Tad Brahma aham eva asmi. This is a parabhakta, a jnani, a sthita prajna. There's no difference between a parabhakta and a jnani. It is the same. Then in the 79th sutra, Narada Maharishi says, Sarvada sarvabhavena nishchintitaihi bhagavaneva bhajaniyaha. Sarvada, always. Sarvabhavena, from all aspects, physically, emotionally, psychologically, verbally, in all ways, nishchintitaihi, without thinking of what will happen. Is this really this connection with Ishvara? This kind of a total surrender to Ishvara, is it really worth it? These kind of doubts don't come. So sarva bhavena nishchintaihi, free from all chinta, because I know, I trust that Ishvara is going to take care of me. Tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Okay? And, he also says in the 18th chapter, Bhagwan Krishna says, Tameva sharanam gaccha sarva bhavena bharata. Tameva. Ishvara only, in Ishvara only, sharanam gaccha. May you completely surrender to that Ishvara. Tameva. There, Ishvara is Bhagwan Krishna only. Ishvara is manifesting. Bhagwan Krishna is Ishvara there. Yogeshvara, Krishna. So, Tameva Sharanam Gacha Sarva Bhavena. From all angles, aspects of your entire being, totally Sarva Bhavena, may you surrender. Tameva Sharanam Gacha Tat Prasadat Param Shantim Sthanam Prapsyasi Shashvatam. He says, so what is it? Tat prasadat. By that prasada of Ishvara, when you surrender totally, Ishvara takes care of you. Yes, it is true. Takes care of you. There is no need for me to worry about it. Whatever I need, I will get. So, says that one must nishchintitaihi. If there is a doubt, then it is gone. If there is a doubt, there is no question. That is why it is said that when Draupadi Vastrapaharana was taking place, she went and asked everybody there, all the important people, including her 5 husbands. Nobody really helped her. She didn't remember Krishna till then. When she found that there is nobody who's able to help, then she surrendered to Lord Krishna, and then we know the story. And it seems Draupadi asked him later, why didn't you come earlier? I had to go through so much suffering of being dragged by my hair and insulted in front of the whole Sabha. What were you doing? Where were you? Why you didn't come? And Krishna said, you didn't call me. You should have called me. You still had a hope that you can manage yourself. It is only when you are totally helpless and surrender, Bhagwan comes from nowhere or sends somebody. That's what is called as an unseen hand. So many times we see an unseen hand helping us. Haven't we all observed that in our lives? So when one totally surrenders to Ishvara, Tameva Sharanam Gacha, okay, Sarvada Sarvabhavena, Nishchintitaihi. Yes, I have surrendered to you, Lord. Whatever is right, that will happen. I know. And whatever is your sankalpa, that is the right thing that will happen. And yes, that will happen. That thing that is going to happen may not be very conducive for me. It doesn't matter. Whatever comes to me, that may not be what I really want or what I desire. It doesn't matter. I know that if this is something, this is your sankalpa, this is your ichha that this particular situation should come to me, it is because I have to learn something from it, and you are there with me. I know I'll be able to cross over this. And whatever comes, I know whatever is happening is the right thing that is happening. Therefore, he says, first thing he said, may you not give up reading the Shastras. Number 2, he said, May you develop all these values. There is so much of insistence or importance given to these values in all our scriptures. Whether you read Puranas or Smriti, Bhagwadgita is a Smriti Grantha, or even Upanishads talk about it. So, developing these values, inculcating these values. It's not that we don't have them. We have all of them. But in some way, they have all been diluted. And we have not bothered to study them. Study means not STEADY. We have not studied them in our personality. So that is very important for me to be a bhakta and a total surrender. A total surrender. Tameva sharanam gacha. Mam, he always, Krishna says, Madhyaji bhava, mam namaskuru, manmana bhava, madbhakto bhava, and I will never let you down. Whatever you are, supposed to be, meant to be, yes, my prarabdha I have to go through. Even Lord can't change it. Even as a Parama Bhakta, a Jnani Bhakta also has to go through the prarabdha with which his body has come. We have to go through. Lord or Ishvara cannot change our prarabdha, but Ishvara is there with us. In and through our going through our prarabdha. Then in the 80th sutra, Narada Maharshi says, Sakirtyamanaha shigrameva avirbhavati anubhavayati cha bhaktan. So when Ishvara is connected to in these ways, like the way we have seen from the first verse onwards, when we invoke this Ishvara, which is nothing but Brahman, Atman, all pervading Ishvara, when we invoke, surrender, connect deeply, which is called as bhakti, what happens? Sakirtyamanaha, this Lord Ishvara, with whom we have connected, Shigrameva avirbhavati. Shigrameva avirbhavati, manifests, reveals his true nature to us. What is the true nature of Ishvara? Consciousness. When we look at Ishvara with the name and form, it is the upadhi of Ishvara. Like we have this body, mind, sense complex upadhi. Ishvara reveals, when we invoke this way, Ishvara reveals his true nature. He reveals, he or she or it. There's no gender for Ishvara. Ishvara, Brahman, reveals itself as what? You and me are not different. This is you and this is me also. So Ishvara reveals his real Swarupam as none other than I, this consciousness. Anubhavayati cha. Anubhavayati means Aprokshanubhuti is there. Nobody has to tell me, I realize it. I realize it within myself. Without any kind of a, thing. Ishvara makes me understand that I am that Brahman. I am that Ishvara. There is no bheda between me and Ishvara. There was never any bheda between me and Ishvara. Never. We were always inseparable. We were always one. But because of my ajnanam, avidya, I thought of myself to be different from Ishvara. But with this, in this way, Shigrameva avirbhavati, reveals his true nature, anubhavayati cha. I, aparokshataya, I will have the anubhava, aparoksha anubhuti, a direct understanding that I am none other than Ishvara. In the 81st verse now, Narada Maharishi says, Trisatyasya bhaktireva gariyasi, Trisatyasya, In all three periods of time, in all three periods of time, three presents, past, present, future, for a sadhaka, for a mumukshu, moksha sadhananam bhakti eva gariyasi. Where did we see that? Vivekachudamani. Bhagwan Shankaracharya says that. Bhakti eva gariyasi. So, bhakti eva gariyasi. In of all the three truths, okay, three satya here means all the three periods of time. It can also mean in all the various sadhanas that we take up towards moksha. My connection with Ishvara is the greatest. Bhakti eva gariyasi, bhakti eva gariyasi. Actually, with this, actually, if we look at it, the actual teaching is over. The actual teaching of Narada Bhakti Sutra is actually over with this particular verse, because Bhakti eva gariyasi, twice it has been told. The next two or three sutras are just a little, off the mark, whatever is left to be said, not the teaching. So he says here, what are the different ways in which one can connect to Ishvara? Different kinds of bhakti, different kinds of relating to Ishvara. So in the 82nd Sutra, Narada Maharshi says, Guna Mahatmya Asakti, Rupa Sakti, Puja Sakti, Smarana Sakti, Dasya Sakti, Sakhya Sakti, Vatsalya Sakti, Kanta Sakti, Atmanivedana Sakti, Tanmayata Sakti, Parama Viraha Sakti Rupa, Ekadhya api ekadashadha bhavati. Ekadha bhakti, that one bhakti only, connection with Ishvara, can manifest in different forms. I can connect to that Ishvara in 11 ways, he says. Okay? Ekadha api, that bhakti, ekadashadha bhavati. In 11 ways I can connect to Ishvara. Number one, Guna Mahatmya Asakti. Guna Mahatmya Asakti means glorifying the glories of Ishvara. Guna Mahatmya Asakti. That way I connect to Ishvara. Rupa Asakti. Connecting with the Rupa of my Ishtadevata or Rupa, where I take a lot of interest in, doing various kind of what you call as the alankaras to the Lord and enjoy it. Okay, that is Rupa Asakti. Puja Asakti. I connect with Ishvara with my way of worship, kaya, vacha, manasa, different ways of my worship, I worship. Smarana, Smarana Asakti, all the time contemplating about Ishvara in various forms, in the stories that I have heard in Bhagavatam or in other, whichever, scripture I have learned. Then Dasya Sakti. I may consider Ishvara as the Lord and I am the Dasa. Like how Hanuman connected himself with Rama as a Dasya Bhakti at the level of the body. He connected himself as a Dasya Bhakti. Okay. Then he says Sakhya Sakti. Sakhya Bhakti. Like Arjuna and Krishna, Uddhava and Krishna, Sudama and Krishna. So as a friend, connecting with Ishvara as a friend. So Sakhya Asakti. Vatsalya Asakti. Connecting with Ishvara as a mother, as a parent. Vatsalya Asakti. Like how Devaki or Yashoda connected with Krishna. So Vatsalya Asakti. I connect with Ishvara. I look at that my Ishtadevata as my child and I consider myself as the mother. All different ways of connecting with Ishvara. as different relationships, because we are used to relating with people, correct? So we want to relate with Lord also, to connect ourselves with that. That's fine. These are all Gauni Bhaktis. They are not the Mukhya Bhakti, Parabhakti. In Parabhakti, there is no connection because there are no two, there's only one. But in Gauni Bhakti, there is always a connection. So, Vatsalya Bhakti. Kanta Sakti, as a beloved. Krishna is my beloved, like Mirabai. Krishna is my beloved. He's the Nayaka. I'm the Nayaki. Okay? The connection between a loved one, a beloved, and a lover. That is also one way of connecting. Then, Atma Nivedana Asakti, where I surrender myself, my ahankara, everything to total surrender. That is another way of connection. Nothing belongs to me. My body is yours, my mind is yours, whatever happens is you. Total surrender. Tameva sharanam gacha. Sarva bhavena bharata. Same thing it is. So, Atma Nivedana. Completely I surrender. Asakti. Tanmayata Asakti. I want to become one with that Lord. I want to feel that there is no difference. I'm not yet a Parabhakta, but I contemplate upon the Lord as I'm not different from that Lord. Tanmaya Asakti. Then Parama Viraha Asakti. As though I'm pining for that Lord because the Lord is so far away from me. That's also another way of connecting. Hey Krishna, where are you? I want to be with you. So Parama Viraha Asakti. As a person connecting to the Lord as a forlorn, lost beloved. That's also another way of connecting. So 11 ways in which a Gauni Bhakta can connect to Ishvara, though ultimately Bhakti is one Parabhakti only. But initially, as a Gauni Bhakta, I can connect with Ishvara. Even though one Bhakti, I can connect with Ishvara. Ekadashadha, in 11 forms, I can connect with Ishvara. Then, in the next verse, in the 83rd verse, the lineage or the different bhaktas who have left a mark in this world with their character, with their stories, with their writings. All those bhaktas are mentioned here. Ityevam vadanti jana jalpa nirbhaya ekamataha Kumara Vyasa Shuka Shandilya Garga Vishnu Kaundinya Shesha Uddhava Aruni Bali Hanumad Vibhishanadayo Bhaktyacharya. All these are Bhakti Acharyas, he says. These are all the Acharyas who have upheld what Bhakti is and taught a mumukshu about Bhakti. Ityevam vadanti. Whatever I have spoken, Narada says, all this time from the verse 1 to the verse 83, Ityevam vadanti. This is all that is talked about. Who are not worried about the Jana Jalpa Nirbhayaha. They are not scared about what people talk about them. Jana Jalpa Nirbhaya means those who are not worried about what the world thinks about them. Mirabai never bothered what the world thinks about her. Hanuman never bothered what the world thinks about him. Vibhishana never bothered, though he was Ravana's brother. He never bothered to show his atut bhakti towards Ram. Correct? So, Jana Jalpa Nirbhayaha. All these great bhaktas have never feared any kind of worldly abuse or people abusing them or laughing at them. They are ekamataha. They are of only one and the same, exactly of the same mata. And this is what they have spoken. What I have already spoken in this 83 sutras. And who are they? Kumara. Sanat Kumaras, okay, Lord Brahma's Prajapati's Manasa Putras, Vyasa, we know Bhagwan Vyasa, a great Bhakta, because he wrote 18 Puranas, correct? Vyasa, Shuka, the one who actually narrated the whole of Mahabharata to Parikshit. So, Shuka, Shandilya, I've been mentioning Shandilya's name as another Bhakta who has written Bhakti Sutras called Shandilya Bhakti Sutra. Garga Samhita, in which also Bhakti is talked about. Vishnu, okay, Vishnu, another Bhakta. Kaundinya, another Rishi, a Bhakta, Rishi, but Garga also a Rishi, a Bhakta. But then, here, these are all the Sheshas, different names. Kaundinya, another Shesha, Sheshanaga, who has always been the support of Lord Vishnu. Then Uddhava, Lord Krishna's best friend, to whom he gave the final teaching of his life, called as Uddhava Gita. Uddhava, Aruni. Aruni is our Kathopanishad, Aruni, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Aruni. Okay, again a Bhakta. Bali, ultimately Bali, Bhakta, he's also a Bhakta. When Vamanavatara came, he surrendered to him with the third step of, Vamana, when Trivikrama, he saw the Trivikrama Rupa of Vamana, he surrendered. Bali, Hanuman, the bhakti of Hanuman, everybody knows. So Hanuman, Vibhishana's allegiance and bhakti to Rama, everybody knows. Adayo Bhaktyacharya. This verse is remembering all those acharyas and paying our namaskaras and obedience to these people. Narada is one of them, but he doesn't say that. He enumerates all the other bhakti acharyas who have contributed so much to the bhakti literature. So, in the 84th, which is the final verse, what is said is, Ya idam Narada proktam Shivanushasanam Vishwasiti Shraddhate Sabhaktiman Bhavati Saha Preshtam Labhate Saha Preshtam Labhate Iti. Okay, so Yaha idam Narada proktam Shivanushasanam. These Narada Bhakti Sutras, which were given out by Narada and Shivanushasanam, commanded by, taught by Lord Shiva, okay, Vishwasiti, the one who has belief in that, Shraddha in that, trust in that, Shraddhate. Again, Vishwasiti and Shraddhate mean the same. It means that the one who has a total trust in this teaching, Saha Bhaktiman Bhavati. He becomes a Bhaktiman, like all these names that have been mentioned so far. Saha Preshtam Labhate. Saha Preshtam Labhate iti. Preshtam means he gets what he deeply desires. What is it that is deeply desired by every human being? Moksha. Correct? We want freedom from samsara. We want moksha. Ultimately, that is what is the ultimate preshtam. That is what is desired. The goal, the objective of every human being is moksha, freedom from samsara, to be a parabhakta. And therefore, the one who has the trust in these Narada Proktam, Shivanushasanam, Shiva is the very Sakshi for this. Okay, this thing also given out by all these Bhakti Acharyas. Names we saw, 10 or 11 names. There are many more. Many more. But then Narada can't keep mentioning everybody. So he mentions all these people. Okay, it says like them, they have also expounded the very same thing. There is no difference at all. So such a person, Saha Preshtam Labhate, Saha Preshtam Labhate. Ultimately, he reaches his objective. What is the objective? Abheda Bhakti. Abiding in one's own Swarupam, Atma Swarupam. Abiding, Nishtha in one's own Swarupam. Abheda Drishti. Aham Brahmasmi iti, the Aproksha Anubhuti of one being non-separate from Brahman. That is the Preshtam, that which is to be desired as the ultimate goal of every one of us. And ultimately, he attains that. With this, the Narada Bhakti Sutras is over. A work of about 84 sutras. Very beautiful. Starting from the definition of bhakti to what is the meaning of connection with Ishvara to our 83, 84 verses beautifully talked about. It's a moksha shastra, what we have seen. It's purely talking about Advaita, Abheda, Para, Bhakti, passing through the other stages of Gauni Bhakti. With this, we have completed one more Vedantic text. And as I said in the last session, from the next session, we'll be taking Rama Gita, which is again another Vedantic text. Om Nandantu Sadhaka Sarve Vinashyantu Vidushakaha Avastha Shambhavi Mestu Prasannostu Guru Sada Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Karshid Dukham Apnuyat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat. As usual, all my regards and thanks to all those people who have supported me in recording and uploading it on the Mutt site. And last but not the least, Pujya Swamiji's Ashirvada and his constant encouragement for me to continue these sessions, Wednesday sessions.